Well, welcome back to another episode of The Leadership Void. I am Vince, and today we are joined by Katherine Kat Ramirez, founder and creative CEO at adBidtise from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Kat, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about you.
Hey, thanks for having me, Vince. I really appreciate it. And it's great to know you. And it's great that we were able to get this together. So a little bit about me, my previous life, I was in major media. So ABC, NBC, CBS, Telemundo, did that for 27 years. And so how I got into my entrepreneurial role was I hit the glass ceiling. So rather than stay put and be stagnant, I thought, what are some ways I can control my destiny? And creating an entrepreneurship for myself and helping small businesses with their marketing strategies. And that's how I got to where I am today and created adBidtise in 2014 and then stepped away from my corporate job in 2015, a year from the day that I started. So I'm excited. I love what I do.
Oh, no, we want to hear more, right? So tell us about, obviously, this transition you did from 2014, 2015, adBidtise. What is that all about?
So basically, I know what you're leading into. So adBidtise, the company name came on a play on words. So basically, advertise, I did adBidtise. And the play on words is back in the old days. And any of your viewers or listeners who are from that era back in the old days, in major media, they would do like fire sales. And that's what they would call it, fire sales, where there would be one day where we would sell out the house at a very low cost point. And it's a fire sale just to fill the house, right? And so adBidtise was a play on that, was just, how there was a bidding so that they could fill the house and then raise the rates, and so that's how, major media makes money. But our foundation, our mission and what we do is, the other thing I saw a lot of was a lot of small businesses didn't have advocacy. They didn't have anybody really just holding their hand or helping them understand the dynamics of marketing and advertising. And so when in major media, and I really hate to say it like this, but it's like the old, used car sales days, is the one and done. I'm going to go and get that sale. It's the one and done, right? I'm going to get that sale. I'm going to do it, spend their money. And then if nothing evolves from it, then I hit my budget. I hit my numbers, right? It was all about a numbers game, where when you're working with an agency or a marketing representative or a consultant, they're more interested in your goals and what you're trying to achieve and strategy, right? Strategy. So there's more of a plan. And so there was a lackluster of that for small businesses, startups, small business entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, independent consultants, because they didn't have that money to leverage themselves, right? So it is definitely a money game, right? Money game. And the more money that you could spend, the more attention you get. And that's why the McDonald's of the world get all the attention they get, the Pepsis, the Cokes, the Budweisers, all of those. So I wasn't about them. I was more about, let's help these small mom and pop shops so that they understand the dynamics and they know that if they're not putting a consistent message out there every single day, then they're not reminding their future customers who they are, what they do, and how to get a hold of them, right? And so that is the one element that a lot of businesses fail on, is they leave that part off,
First, I appreciate everything you're doing, because you took everything, all that knowledge, all the expertise, all your talents and your skills, and you taking it to the small business world. The David and Goliath. Here we are, right?
Yes.
So I appreciate everything you're doing. How did the pandemic play out with adBidtise?
Yeah. And then, what, that's a great question, because that the pandemic was good and bad for us. So just like everybody else, we were touched by it. We immediately were touched by it because we had to close our office. We had an office in downtown Milwaukee, just over 1,600 square feet. not really big, but big enough for us. And so that would have cost us money. We were lucky enough that our lease was about to renew. We got out of it, and I'm telling you that, the angels were helping me. And so we got out of that. And then, so a month after that, little by little, I had clients telling me, I got to pull off, I got to pull off, I got to pull off. So 75% of my business went away within a couple of months right after the close. Okay. And that's a lot of business. So I went from 14 employees, 14 to 2. It was me and 2 others. That was it. And we had to wear a lot of hats. We had to do a lot to make up, right, for the whatever difference was. And so what did that mean? I am so indebted to the employees that I had at that time, because they did work really, really hard. And we had to revamp, we had to come up with new opportunities to fit the marketplace with what was going on. And the one thing that I heard over and over that really saved us during the pandemic was, hey, Kat, I need a digital presence. I've never had one. I need a digital presence, because people are home now and they're looking. And so we got a lot of clients with our hashtag social buzz, which was social media management, where we're posting every day for people and getting their content out there. And that was what really got us back and saved us. Basically, we didn't make up the revenue we lost, of course, but it helped us build right back up, right? And get exposure and get in front of a lot more different clients. And that's the plus. It got us in clients that were in the UK and Australia and Singapore and Canada, in New York, in, LA. So whereas prior to the pandemic, I would call clients that were advertising that they need marketing help. And I would say, hey, we would love to help you. We have 20 years of experience, blah, blah, blah. Oh no, I want someone in my backyard. I will tell you, I never, ever, ever hear that today, ever. Never. And that was a blessing in disguise. And I think if someone's listening, if you're not hearing that, like someone, or you're not getting business from, New York, California, somewhere else, then you need to really explore what you're doing with your business model. And you need to put that digital presence so that you are getting this business from all over. Because I'll tell you what, the pandemic made people understand and realize that if I need an expert, I can go anywhere. I'm not limited to my backyard, where maybe I don't have the resource. Maybe there's no one there, And so the pandemic helped people understand that as long as you can vet the person, right? You can vet them, you can meet with them and trust them, then you can work out a partnership with them. And they're going to do exactly what you want them to do. And they don't have to be in your backyard. That's what the pandemic did, which to me is a huge blessing in disguise, huge. And I'll tell you what, in a meeting with my clients and getting new clients, that was a reoccurring message that I heard over and over for a lot of people that stayed in the game, right? They stayed in the game and they pushed through it. And their thing was, hey, I got clients like in, Mexico, or I got clients in Argentina, I got clients in Canada, and wherever, because those people that need those services, they were looking online, right? And they're going to talk to the people they find. And that's this is how this all evolves, and how you grow your business, and how you can have a very profitable stay-at-home business, right?
Oh, absolutely. First, I would say, we went from our own backyards to see the shining sea. Now we're everywhere. But hearing what you said, how you pivoted from losing out of your 14, keeping only 2, and 75% of your business in a few months, that's unheard of, and you are a survivor and
Mhm.
thriving now, hitting now the digital platform, that space from sea to shining sea. So everyone listening in, it can be done.
Yes.
Learn how to pivot, learn how to adapt, and give what the customers, be where they need to be, right? And this
Yes.
is a testament of it. And hearing about that sea to shining sea, what's on the horizon for adBidtise?
Yeah. So the future for us is now that we pivot and now that we've kind of stabilized, right? We've shown our existence. We know now our strengths. We put them out there. And now we've created this momentum of, who we are now and who we go after. People always say, oh, I wish I could go back to the good old, when are the old days coming back? Or, I don't care. I moved on, I'm in the moment and I'm going to use the moment and push that forward, as Warren Buffett would say, onward and upward, right? Because what I have established now over the last 2 years, I love, and it's great. And, I use social media to grow my business during the pandemic. That's how we got connected, right? We got connected on LinkedIn. And so the social media is so powerful. It is such a powerful vehicle. And it's not just LinkedIn, it's the Facebook, it's the Twitters, it's TikTok, any social media that you're using. If you use it in a strategic manner, you will grow your business if you do it the right way. And so for us moving forward, video is going to be a huge play on social media. So we're working out our partnerships with, video editors, video producers, people that do video content. So that's in the horizon for us. And those are the people that we prospect and that we are saying, let's align, let's align it, because the anybody in the trades, anybody that is an influencer will tell you that within 2 to 3 years, you will see nothing but video on social media, or let's say 80%, right? Because that's what the next generation wants. And that's how they want to receive their information, because, everybody, is a little ADHD. And when you watch a video, you can take it in little nuggets, right? And learn and grow from that. And I will tell you that even me and I'm not that younger generation, but I love video, because if I have to do something around the house, or if I have to do a new program or a new campaign, I'm going to research it. And if I can absorb a video to walk me through it and talk me through it, as opposed to reading it. Some people, when they read, right, they have to read it 2 or 3 times to comprehend it. So this is why video is great, because if you watch the video, you're listening with your eyes and your ears, which is the best way, right? Your eyes and your ears. And where you read, I'm not against reading, I'm not poo-pooing it, but you're reading it and you're working harder to comprehend, because you got to read it, comprehend it, and try to visualize it, right? And so that's the beauty of video. And if nobody is having a video strategy conversation right now, I think that's a huge mistake, because video is key. And again, is you've got to go, and you kind of alluded this to this, Vince, you got to go where the market is. The market is on social media. The market is really absorbing a lot of videos. So why wouldn't you go where the market is and really talk to them the way they want to be talked to and fed? And video is, authentic. It's key. You don't have to be all fancy or anything. You can deliver it in little nuggets. I think you mentioned to me before the show that you guys do like a radio soundbite. Little nuggets are great. I do, a 1-2 minute marketing minute every day to share a tip every day with my marketplace. And, I get a big response from that, and people saying, hey, Kat, I saw that one tip, and they'll reference it and they'll say, oh my God, thank you for sharing that, And so, when you can get a response like that, to me, that just says it paid off. I don't care if it's one person, that just said it's paid off. I also got a tip from somebody one time too, that said, Kat, I really like your marketing minute, but I think you really need to change it up. I don't feel like it's very professional. And I'm like, okay. And I took it with a grain of salt, because here's the thing is, I'm not going to change who I am on my video to appease someone. And they were very corporate. Okay. I got out of the corporate world for a reason, because I didn't want to be corporate. And I was like, and then let me do what the corporate world says, So to be an entrepreneur and to be able to run my own destiny and control my voice and my brand is all about me. It's not about aligning with a corporate kind of image. So, and that's the thing that a lot of people will say when they say, I want to do video, Kat, but I don't want to look stupid, or I don't want it to come across wrong. You know what? You're your voice, you're your brand. Nobody can change that. Nobody. And you might get some comments that people don't like it. And who cares? Who cares? Because it's your voice and your brand. And I will tell you, it took me a little while to get over it. But guess what? I've embraced it. I love it. And I get the biggest response because people say, Kat, you're so authentic. You're so real. I like watching you because I get what you say. You're not making things complicated. And, and you address little things that I run into, and so, and that's, to me, is cool. That's the best thing that you can get.
No, what I'm hearing is self-acceptance, right? Because
Yeah.
our internal line is more important than the external line. So you
Mm-hmm.
keep to your internal line and be true to self. And those that don't like it want to push it, and they, oh, you should do this. Those are sitting on the bleachers while you're in the arena fighting, right? So
That's right.
keep authentic to the internal line. I love it. I love it. And
I love.
video. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was going to say, I love that metaphor. They're in the arena, and I love that. I'm going to use that, Vince.
Well, hey, let me give credit to Brene Brown when it's due.
Okay.
She's great at saying great quotes from Theodore Roosevelt. You got to check out
Yeah,
The Man in the Arena.
that's great.
But yeah, so hearing this, audience, listen, video is where it's at. So if you don't have a video strategy, we're going to tell you how to reach out to Kat later after the show. But let's transition and talk a little bit about leadership.
Yep.
Kat, what do you do in your spare time that aids you to thrive in your professional life?
Okay. I love this. And, as in my old days, I was a sales coach, a sales manager, right? And I did that for 20 years. So of the 27 years I was in corporate America, 20 years I was a sales coach. And, my big thing for my team was always pushing them of, what are you reading? What are you doing to really, massage what you got up there, And so for me, I do the same thing because I'm a big podcast listener. I love podcasts. And I will listen to anything that is of sales related. Okay. Cause I just eat that up, anything sales related, anything to have to do with entrepreneurship success, anything with entrepreneurship failure, because I want to hear those stories. I want to hear how somebody failed and why did they fail? Because I'm not going to make those mistakes. I don't want to make those mistakes. Those stories are out there to help you, right? They're to help you. And thank God that they were willing to share those stories, right? And then the stories of success, they're out there to help you. And they're also out there to tell you that there is no instant gratification, none. And if you don't improve on yourself and lead by example for your team, okay, because to me, that's key. Lead by example for your team, improve yourself, take the workshops. I go to summits. I will spend the money. I will go to summits. I will learn from others. And I feel that's, to me, is the best way to learn, is to learn from others. I will definitely be part of any mentorship circles. I haven't been a part of one since prior to, post pandemic. So I haven't been a part of one. And then the other thing is, find influential leaders that can be mentors to you, that are doing the thing that you want to do, right? And approach them and ask them or talk to them, at the very least, interview them, right? Because you can get some nuggets. But podcasting is big for me. And then right now, I don't need to be a realtor, but I'm going through a realtor's workshop because I want to understand what investment is to people, right? And what are the rules and what are the lays of the land? So it's just, I'm kind of like the person that has like 3 or 4 degrees, right? Or they go to their master's and their PhD. I don't want a degree. I want to learn things, right? So I'm kind of like an anomaly maybe, and some people probably can relate to me. Like, I rather learn things than to get another degree to layer and say I'm a PhD. Hey, you know what I mean? So I would rather, take the time and invest in myself and learn something that's going to forever my career, right? Forever my career. Like, what is going to be my plan B? And and in my head, I have a plan B. I have a 5-year plan. I have a 10-year plan, because we all should be planning. You want to be able to have your business sustain any type of environment, any. And I'll tell you what, if you sustain and you survive COVID, then you are right on the right path. You are. Because to me, I've never been through anything like that. And that was probably the worst. And when you say, when you congratulate me, I feel bad for the people that didn't survive, the people that didn't have a plan B, that probably weren't thinking, they had blinders on and weren't thinking outside the box, because someone mentioned to me, they said the pandemic didn't kill businesses. The pandemic only brought out what was already wrong with some businesses, right? And those were smart words that were shared with me that I loved, because the pandemic didn't kill any business. The pandemic only bubbled up what was already wrong with some of those businesses. And if they didn't tune into them, if they didn't fix them, right, then the pandemic was going to crush them. And so that to me was a little enlightening when that was shared to me by someone else, which, those are wise words. Those are wise words. And those are wise words for the future. Like, if something else comes up, if you don't take care of what's wrong in-house to fix it, you're not going to be able to tackle those things as they come, right? You can't, because you've got to have your in-house in order and ready to go and ready to take any challenge. And so that to me is the beauty of preparing for the future. Prepare for, what's going to come next, and just prepare and say, we don't know if COVID's going to happen again, but prepare for it. What if it does? Have a plan B. And, I think the other cool thing too, is if you look at big corporations, they already have these plans in place. They're already strategizing. So big corporations like, the big, manufacturers of the world, the energy companies, the, Apple and Microsoft and all of them, they have these plans in place. They have these strategy plans. And thus that small businesses should incorporate the same thing. Is if A happens, here's the plan. This is the minutia. This is what we're going to do. If B happens, here's the plan. This is what we're going to do. If C happens, here's the plan. This is what we're going to do. They already have those planned out. And so if you as a small business owner do the same thing, you're only helping your business, and you're really strategizing for it. Hopefully it never comes, right? Hopefully it doesn't. You're just securing your future and what might happen.
Absolutely. So I'm hearing, if you're not ready to learn or pick up a book or a podcast or diversify your own internal thoughts, you're not going to be innovative. You're not going to be creative. You're not going to survive, and you're not going to thrive. And the pandemic was a testament to that. Those who bubbled up
Absolutely.
learned and pivoted and adjusted, had plans, and creating new plans as we go. So that's great words of wisdom. And talking about advice, uh, what advice that you received that you would like to pass on to our listeners and emerging leaders today?
I would say probably the best advice I ever got was that if you want your business to survive and thrive, okay, that, you have to lead by example. So if you're not doing some of the minutia, some of the hard work, right? How can you ask someone else to do it if you're not leading by example? And so to me, that's probably my go-to, my forefront is I lead by example. I'm in the trenches with my team. I'm doing everything I ask them to do. If they can't get something done, I'm going to go back around and do it, right? I think a lot of entrepreneurs function like that. I think the one thing that entrepreneurs probably fail to see or sometimes realize is there is no instant gratification. I can't say that enough. There is none, and everybody is always looking for this magic button, this magic, right, wand. There is none. There is none. And if there was, I would be happy to share it with you today. I would, right? I would share that. And I think if we got beyond that and outside of that, we would save spending a lot of money on crap. I just had a conversation with a client the other day who spent he told me he spent $600 on this thing. It was 2 documents, and I read through the 2 documents, and I was like, okay, this is everything we've told you already. And I don't want to insult my client, right? I don't want to insult, but I think he thought he could buy something that was going to be a quick fix, and it cost him $600. So, my advice to any business owner, there are no quick fixes. And marketing is the same message over and over. I'm sorry. It is the same message over and over. Consistency is king, period. There is nothing else. There's nothing else. If you think about the big names out there, McDonald's, they're consistent. They still market today. They're $1 billion company. They're never going to stop, right? Never. Although we know when we see those golden arches, we know what's there, right? Because they branded us. Where they branded us. And if we just do the same thing to our clients, consistency is king, I promise you. And the name of the game is, if you have money to add to that consistent message, then your king will get bigger, right? It gets bigger faster. If you don't, then just stick with it and just keep doing it over and over and over. Consistency is king. That's the magic bullet. If anybody wants a magic bullet, that is it. It is not buying into some program that's hypothetically going to make you famous or whatever.
So folks, listen in, resist the temptation for the short gain, because this is the long race, long game here, folks. As you heard from Kat, definitely we've seen the plethora of businesses doing great. Who created Google? Listen, that was not even a word. And now everybody knows that, right? And Amazon, a new creation as well. So long game, folks. Consistency is key. Now, Kat, let's talk about challenges, because we all deal with the reality of something in front of us, a huge challenge, small challenge. Let's talk about, how do you handle challenges either you face or currently facing?
Well, that's a good question too. Wow, you are just coming out with the punches. So during COVID, I had a lot of challenge, because as soon as 75% of my business stopped, right? So that means I still have to pay people, and I had to figure out, how am I going to pay my people, because I need my people. So I probably lost about, I want to say 35,000 in revenue that people did not pay me, period. Okay. And I'm still contending with that, but if you think about, like, you have a team, there's money out there, but I don't have the money, right? There's money out there. I don't have the money, and I still have to pay my team. I had to work through that. I had to work through that challenge. My go-to, of course, was to use my personal credit cards, because I had to pay my team, right? And so, you do what you have to do to solve that problem. And then you hope that, something helps you offset that in the long run, because you can't have that, right, lingering payment on a credit card at 23% for payroll. And so then you work through the crisis. And so, fortunately for everyone, the PPP, the EDIL, all of those things came into play, and it was a matter of applying and getting help and using those resources and finding more resources, right? Because, we didn't qualify for PPP. So that didn't, play in our playbook. But we did qualify for EDIL. So we went down that road. And then when I applied to EDIL, I got rejected. So, everybody's challenged over and over and over. And then I was very, very fortunate to find JJ, who worked with businesses. And when they got rejected from EDIL, he got them approved. And I was very, very fortunate to find him. And so I think that, I'm not overly religious, but I am a believer in faith. And I think that, when I prayed and when I asked for some help, that I got the help that I needed, and I got guidance, right? I got guidance. And I'm very appreciative of that. And I'm very, very thankful. And then I shared that. With people that needed help. So if I came across someone who said, I can't pay my bills, or I didn't qualify for the PPP, or I said, hey, you need to call JJ. So I always feel like people come to you for a reason. There's a purpose, there's a reason. And then it's incumbent on you to share that resource, right? It's so incumbent on you that if don't hold it to yourself, why would you do that? Like it is a gift. You go gift it to someone else and give it to someone else. And that's what I did. So when I come across challenges, I don't sit here and stew and I don't sit, I mean, sometimes I cry, but I sit down and I analyze the situation and I give myself some options. What is A, B, and C? What are some options that I can do to overcome this? Because I'll tell you what, since day one, I have endured lots of challenges. In the beginning, they were painful and they hurt and it was hard to get up. Now I get tougher and I think as a boxer, I think, how am I going to overcome this? Because this is not going to destroy the 8 years that I put into this business. I'm going to fight and I'm going to fight with every ounce of strength that I have. And that's how I thought during COVID. I'm not losing this business after having it for 5 years. Hell no, 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 no. I am going to fight. I'm going to figure a way to make sure I survive and this stays intact, right? And that's how someone has to think about it when they think about challenges, because we're all going to endure them, every one of us. And you will continue to endure them through the life of your company. They just get easier to handle, right? They get easier to handle once you learn to manage them. And that's what you have to do.
I'm thinking here, there's so much involved when it comes to giving yourself grace first and foremost, and focus, right? Grace to the focus point. And grace could be hope, grace could be faith, uh, just walking around the neighborhood, crying. But
Yep.
don't lose focus on where your goal is and that main objective. And here you had the determination, the grit, the resilience to continue forward in these challenging times. And thank you for sharing, giving us a behind the scenes of Kat, right?
Yeah.
So we appreciate that and giving tips. And JJ was your saving grace, and you played it forward. So absolutely, folks, don't hold on to some nuggets. Share it, because that's a light that's going to shine on others as well. Uh,
Absolutely.
and hearing that, so let's talk about strategies for change. And what strategies do you use to deal with change?
So basically, I listen a lot. And to me, I feel like a lot of people don't listen enough. And so when I'm meeting with clients and I do my discovery calls or even get to know each other calls, I schedule get to know each other calls for the sheer fact of getting to know a business and trying to understand what are their big challenges, right? What are theirs? And those challenges are opportunities for me. So I can embrace them and use them as ammo to move forward, or I can just listen and just, be a listener, right? And not do anything with them. I use them as a way to strategically come up with ways that how can I help other businesses with those types of challenges, right? Because at the end of the day, if you're listening properly, you're going to hear a lot of the same reoccurring challenges for other types of businesses, and the businesses can be similar or totally different. And you really have to listen to what people are saying to you. And you got to ask the right questions. You have to ask the right questions. So, one thing that when I talk to small businesses owner is you can't go into a meeting and be self-serving. It cannot be about you and you wanting to pitch or sell your product. And I never go into a meeting self-serving. I go into a meeting open with the thought that I want to hear about your business truly. I want to understand, what are your strengths? What do you got going? And then what are your weaknesses? What are your biggest challenge? And then maybe I can offer a remedy. And if I can't, I'll connect you to someone else that maybe they can help you as well. Because at the end of the day, we have to help each other and we got to support each other. If you go into a meeting wholeheartedly, like I just described, then you're going to reap the rewards of it, right? You're going to reap the rewards. If you go into the meeting self-serving, just waiting with anticipation for your time to speak so that you can shove your product or goods down their throat, right? Because you're trying to get a sell, you're going to get what you're going to get at the end of that, right? So those conversations that I have with business owners, when I do have little coffee chats or when I'm doing discovery calls, I'm picking up those nuggets of, okay, this is a reoccurring challenge. What can we do to solve that? That should be in our mix next time. We need a plan for something so that we can overcome that. And that's what I do. So I'll give you, for instance, a lot of people are really excited about LinkedIn, but they don't know how to use it. So now what I've done to help offset that, or to help people, is I've created workshops. Hey, I have a workshop for LinkedIn. If you want to know how to use it and utilize it so that you can prospect or make money or make more connections, join my workshop. So I'm creating opportunities based on these dialogues so that I can help people and put them in the right direction. You're probably never going to see me have the one and done or the quick fix kind of mentality. I call that, by the way, in case anybody is wondering, bro marketing. Bro marketing. And those are usually the people that are pounding you and saying, I can get you 50,000 in a day, or I can do this. They're offering these promises. They don't even know your business. And they're offering these promises that, you know, are hypothetical because they don't even know your business. How can they tell you they get you 50,000 if they don't even understand your business yet? Right? That's so hypothetical.
Absolutely. Also, you gave me a thought. It also reminded me of these scammers and hackers and listeners that want to sell you something on the phone, right? But
Right.
but like Stephen Covey says, we listen to if we listen to understand is where it at is at versus listen to respond.
Yeah.
Listening is the key to find out their challenges, which I call their pain points. And you want to get not just the headache pain points, but if you get a migraine pain point from a company, you definitely know they want your services to help them resolve that migraine. But I love what you also said, Kat. If that's not in your wheelhouse, you will connect them being a bridge to
Yeah.
somebody that can help. So this is a great entrepreneur, great helping, all the tide lifts all ships mentality. It's great to hear you put it out there on LinkedIn if you want to learn about how to use and utilize the benefits of LinkedIn. So speaking of how to reach this young lady, how to reach her company, folks, you ready for that? Kat, tell us how we do that.
Well, probably the easiest way is to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm easy to find. You'll see my picture. Katherine Kat Ramirez on LinkedIn. You can certainly reach out to me on any of my websites. So adBidtise.com or hashtag socialbuzz.com or LinkedIn for your business.com. So, and then I also have a podcast. Can I plug that? Yeah. I also have a podcast, and the podcast is to help people understand marketing and sales with entrepreneurs. And so I love doing my podcast. I have guests on there. And I will tell you that if you are looking for something and trying to understand like how to create a business plan or a marketing plan, or anything along the realms of marketing and sales, check it out. It's standoutandgrow.com. And I do a new podcast every week, and I love it. It's great. My big thing is I like giving back. I like teaching. I like, sharing knowledge. Knowledge is power, right? And the more knowledge that you can have, the more powerful that you can make good decisions, because it's all about making very good business decisions. You want to make good business decisions. At the end of the day, that's going to be the survival of your business, is to make good business decisions. And you don't want to be the one that you're out there and, you have no resources, you're not looking for them, or you're not making the right decisions that are going to help push your business forward. Yeah.
A lot of knowledge, a lot of skills, a lot of talents right here, folks. It's been a pleasure having you on our show. We will put on our podcast the show notes of this information that was provided by Kat. And again, how to reach Kat and her, of course, her business. But if you like to reach us, The Leadership Void, reach us at theleadershipvoid@gmail.com, where you can send us your correspondence. We will look and love to hear from you about any guests you would like to have on the show, any leadership topics you'd like us to discuss. A couple of things, we're grateful to have Home Team Mortgage as our sponsor, doing great things in the mortgage industry, and also our sponsor. Radio Check is every first and 15th At 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on LinkedIn Live. We reach out to our military and first responder community. Some resources we share. We just come in a community setting to just, embrace one another and share tactics and resources. So hopefully see you on the 1st and the 15th, 1900, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But today, it's all about Kat Ramirez. We thank you for being here. Much success in the future and press on, young lady.
Thank you, Vince. I appreciate it.